Hello, this is Jeff Malone. The X is silent. Here with an analysis of the number of times people made appearances in my dreams in the past year, the year 2012. Um, in 2012, I remembered and recorded 454 of my dreams. It's a little off from the previous year, 2011, when I had 473. A little disappointing considering that it was a leap year in 2012, so I had an extra night. But, oh well, still a respectable total. Number one for the second year in a row and fourth time in 5 years was my mother, Sue Malone, with 75 appearances, a couple shy of her record 77 that she set in 2011. Then just making it into second place with 64 was my brother Rob Malone, and he just got right ahead of my dad, who was right behind him in third with 63. I think Rob's last appearance came on the very last night of the year. So dad was third with 63, and my sister Katie was fourth with 50 appearances. So my immediate family members held tight in the top four spots, way ahead of everyone else. The next best number and first among non-family members, a title he has held every year since I've started indexing the number of appearances in my dreams, was my friend Jeff Smith. He had 22 appearances, a solid total, but significantly off from what he had in 2011 of 40. And actually, a few of my friends had significant drops. Like my other close friends from my high school, Dave Coyle, he dropped from 23 all the way down to 7. And my friend Walt Wojciech dropped from 31 down to 8. Now let's see, going through the rest of... well, first let's mention top celebrities. The previous record high for celebrities in 1 year was Kesha in 2010 with 6. This year the record was broken and set at 9, which may not sound like much, but considering when the previous high was 6, 6 to 9, that's a 150% increase. So that's a solid number there. So it was a tie for first, actually. So now the record holders are Allison Brie, who 8 of those times were as Annie Edison from Community, and Joel McHale, 7 of those times as Jeff Winger from Community. As for the rest of those who made it onto the first page, we have my now former boss at the movie theater, Rob Schwartz, with 18. At 13, top posthumous appearance, my recently passed Aunt Peg. And 12, another coworker, Pete Kelly, tied for 11th. A few more theater coworkers, Kristen Kelsbeer and Megan Smansky-Sapokis. And then tie at with 9 appearances, along with Allison Brie and Joel McHale, are my cousin Kylie, co-worker Tim McLaughlin, grandmother Nanny Claire, former college roommate Jason Koch, and my uncle Martin Malone. And then finishing up the first page and moving along into the second page, because there's a 4-way tie at 8 appearances, former college roommate Brenton Andriasic, co-worker Craig Jones, dog Nellie, and friend Walt Wojciech. Okay, let's skip back onto the topic of celebrities. So Alison Brie and Joel McHale were number 1 among celebrities, so they were tied for first. Then that takes us to third. At 6 appearances is Yvette Nicole Brown. Each of those appearances were as Shirley Bennett. And then for fourth place among celebrities, there is a 4-way tie for fourth, with 5 appearances each. Chevy Chase, 4 of those times as Pierce Hawthorne. Donald Glover, each time as Troy Barnes. Gillian Jacobs, 4 of those times as Britta Perry. And Danny Putty, all of those times as Abed Nader. So that's the top 7 celebrity appearances we've gotten to so far. You notice anything about them? Yep, they have something to do with what is, I believe, to be the best TV show on the air right now, Community. Each member of the study group were at the top of my Dream appearances in 2012, so it was a great year of dreaming. And then first among non-community related celebrities with 4 appearances was Billy on the Street himself, Billy Eichner. Okay, now let's go through the rest of this index and see what other notable entrants we have for the year. Let's see. Okay, Kesha, former record holder for most appearances for a celebrity in 1 year, made it back onto the list this year after having sat out last year. She had 3 appearances this year. Let's see. Leighton Meester also had 3. She usually has a good showing. And Jim Rash, another Community cast member, had 3 appearances, 2 of those as Dean Craig Pelton. George Clooney, interestingly enough, had 2 appearances. Batman did as well. Neither of those times was it Batman as portrayed by George Clooney. Let's see. Alicia Cuthbert had 2 appearances, once as Alex Kirkovich from Happy Endings. Let's see. Jane Levy, Nina Dobrev, Lena Dunham, all 2 appearances, all the leading ladies of TV shows that I watch. Bridget Malone, my goddaughter, who is a little over 1 year old, had 2 appearances. I believe that's her first time making it onto this index. Let's see, Liam Neeson appeared twice, so that's always fun. Who else? St. Vincent, the singer, appeared twice. Very nice. I've just been listening to her music a lot the past year, and I think I'll continue to do so in the foreseeable future. Okay, now we get to those who had 1 appearance, and I required 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages for those who had 1 appearance this time. So that's what, 30 lines a page, maybe 180, close to 200 had at least 1 or had only 1 appearance this year. Overall, I think there's like maybe 400 total different people or fictional characters or animals that had an appearance. Let's see, 1, Gillian Anderson, Alec Baldwin, Bane, Charles Barkley, that's fun. Bjork, nice. Beavis and Butthead, Nev Campbell, Marin Cilic, Louis C.K., Aaron Kraft. A good sampling of athletes were represented this year, as usual. Catwoman. Yeah, I definitely had at least a couple Batman-centric dreams. Alice Cooper, David Duchovny, Clint Eastwood, Roger Ebert, Robert Englund. Now that's an interesting one, Robert Englund. I've got Robert Englund with 1 appearance for 2012, and then I've got Freddy Krueger, the character that he's most well known for, with 2 appearances. Usually I count fictional characters when they appear. I also count the actor. I count it as the actor who plays that character. There are some exceptions, and Freddy Krueger is one of those exceptions. And I've actually had dreams where Freddy Krueger has appeared, interestingly enough, before I actually saw A Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time, which I saw for the first time about a year ago. In fact, I've seen all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies in the past year, with the exception of the remake and Freddy vs. Jason. So this year I had a couple dreams with Freddy Krueger, and one, maybe the same one, with Robert Englund, where he wasn't playing Freddy Krueger. And the dreams that have Freddy Krueger, it's not really Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. It's just, Freddy Krueger, the character, with no one portraying him. He's just, he is, which is, it goes right along with the last in the original series of Nightmare on Elm Street films, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, where Freddy Krueger was credited as playing himself instead of Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. And Robert Englund, he actually did play Freddy Krueger, even though he wasn't credited that way, but Robert Englund also played himself, so that's kind of how it went in my dreams this year. Let's see, Jimmy Fallon, Will Ferrell both had in one appearance. Fozzie Bear, I think he may have been the only Muppet this year. Fun, the band, Zach Galifianakis, the Hulk, Heather Langenkamp, some more Nightmare on Elm Street representation, Led Zeppelin, Andrew Lincoln, Rob Lowe, Lea Michele, Patton Oswalt, Michael J. Nelson, Josh Radnor, Queen Latifah, Ryan Reynolds, Mitt Romney, Tony Romo, Elizabeth Salander, Scorsese, Thor, Venom, Reggie Watts, everybody, Armand White, The Wicked Witch of the West, Kristen Wiig, Allison Williams, Michael K. Williams, Michelle Williams, Oprah Winfrey, and Luke Youngblood. Pop, pop.